Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Sunday, it is match day, of course. I hope you're having a good day wherever you're watching or listening to this around the world. As always, thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Big day, another big day. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace kicking off in just a few hours' time at the Emirates. I'm not there today, unfortunately, not in the press box or in my seat. My wife has decided to run a half marathon this morning, and given it's been a slightly earlier kickoff than normal, I'm not sure she would have been back in time for me to be able to get up to the ground. So I gave up my ticket. I've given it to one of my family's friends. He's going to be sitting with my dad, and I'm going to be watching it at home. I tell you what, I might actually, for the first time ever, do a kind of watch along live stream here on YouTube, watching the game. I don't know yet, and it's not going to be a big shouty, performative watch along. If I do it, I'm just going to have a chat, watch the game, and get you guys involved. But I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do that, because it just depends if my wife gets home in time and if I'm having to look after the kids and all that sort of stuff. But if it works, if the timings works, then do pop back and have a look at the channel. If you're not watching the game, or you want to watch the game potentially by having a chat with us on here in this community, then do pop back at 2 p.m. and see if we do that or not. Right, we're going to talk about lots of stuff in this morning show. Of course, talk about Crystal Palace. We're going to do the predicted 11, all that sort of stuff. Look at what some of you guys have been saying. Look at what Martin Odegaard's been saying. Gabriel Martinelli's been speaking as well. So there's lots and lots for us to get stuck into. We'll start with Martin Odegaard. First of all, we see some pictures he's posted on his Instagram there of him working in the gym at London Colney. Hopefully getting closer to his comeback, which is always good to see pictures like that. He's also been talking in the matchday program today. Arsenal have released some of those quotes and some interesting stuff about Crystal Palace, but also about the title race, really. In terms of the Crystal Palace game, he said, we know we need to be at our best. They've done so well recently, and for me, what they're achieving is the beauty of football in general, and especially in the Premier League. Every year you have a team that can be a surprise, and last season they won the FA Cup, which they really deserved. They've started this season well too. But for me, they've always had a really good team. They have good technical players, but I feel that just lately they've really turned into a solid team as well. The manager is doing a great job. They have that physicality now, especially up front with Mateta. So it's a challenging team to play against. It's another great test for us. And it is going to be a really big test for us. Arsenal, of course, dropped points in this game last season, as they've done in the 3 previous games they've played this season. They've managed to bounce back from that, winning against West Ham, winning at Newcastle, winning at Fulham. Can they do the same today? It'll be a very, very big 3 points if they can. And Palace have got a bit of a history of doing pretty well at the Emirates, certainly in recent years. Anyway, so Arsenal going to have to be at their very best to beat a Crystal Palace team that I've started the season very well. Did slip up, of course, in midweek in the Europa League, or the Conference League. Sorry, losing at home to Larnaca, which was a result they wouldn't have been expecting. But I watched a bit of that game, and they'll play that another 50 times over and they'll win it 49 times. It just was one of those nights where the ball would not go in the net for them. In terms of the sort of title race and all the narrative and noise that seems to be about Arsenal now, the whole it's theirs to lose already. They've got to go on and win it from here, even though we've played 8 games this season, which is frankly just utterly and utterly ridiculous. So Odegaard was talking about that, and he said, look, we just want to keep our good run going. And the best way to do that is just focus on ourselves and our performances. People were ready to say that our season was done if we didn't beat Newcastle. Now, just a few weeks later, we are top, and all of a sudden everyone is saying we're going to win it. So there is always a lot of noise around us, either positive or negative. And what we have to do is just concentrate on ourselves. Everyone knows, especially from past experiences, that things can be decided by 1 point, as it was 2 years ago. Oh, that was so painful. It's really tight and tough league, and we know how important every game is. That's why every victory you can get is massive. So that's what Martin Odegaard has been saying ahead of today's game. And of course, he's right. The whole narrative that's doing around of Arsenal have to win it from here. I watched a clip that was on my timeline, so I didn't go and hunt this out. It just came up on my timeline of the overlap, Gary Neville, all that sort of stuff. And to be fair, you had Wrighty on one side of the table, even Roy Keane on the same side of the table as Ian Wright, and they were sort of saying to Neville, what are you talking about? We've played 8 games, but he was like, they've got to, from this point, they've got to go on and win from here. You feel like they have to do it. It's like, they played 8 games. Stop trying to create and spin your own narrative. You cannot say that at this early stage of the season. So, of course, Odegaard is right in that regard. Right, turning our attentions to today's game, I'm going to do my predicted 11 now. I'm sure you've all seen the rumours and the whispers on the social media that Bukayo Saka could be injured for this game. I can't confirm if he's injured or not. They've all stemmed from the fact he wasn't in the training photos, which, I mean, is a little bit weird because usually Bukayo Saka is in training photos, because Arsenal, know how popular Bukayo Saka is. So if he's in a picture, they'll put him out and he tends to be in training pictures because it helps with engagement and all that sort of stuff. He wasn't in any of the training pictures, which is a little bit strange because that doesn't normally happen. But that doesn't necessarily mean he is definitely injured. It could have been a coincidence. I don't know. It might have been they were managing his load and he just sat out that training session. So it doesn't necessarily mean he definitely misses today's game. But you'll see the whispers on social media that is the case. I'm presuming that he's fit because I haven't heard otherwise. I haven't seen it reported anywhere else, sort of, with sort of legitimately that he is injured. So I can only presume that he's fit. So that's what I'm going with. So he is in my team. He's in my predicted 11. But obviously, if it's right and the detectives on social media are right and the fact he wasn't in the training pictures and the fact that Max Dowman didn't play for the under-21s yesterday means that Saka's injured, then, we're going to have to do something different on the right-hand side and we'll wait and see what that will be. But I'm presuming that Saka's fit. So I'm going with him in my predicted 11. I'm also going with Gabriel in my predicted 11 as well. We know that he is a doubt. And Mikel said he's going to be sort of touch and go if he's going to be fit or not. And he's missed training after the neck issue he picked up in a win against Atletico Madrid, which forced him off in the second half. But I'm presuming he's fit as well. So this is my predicted 11. I've gone Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Calafiori. So Calafiori coming back in and playing at left back, despite Miles Lewis-Skelly playing very, very well. If Gabriel is injured, if he doesn't make it, I'll be really interested to see what Mikel does then. Do you just move Calafiori in to play as left-sided centre-back and continue Miles Lewis-Skelly? Obviously, Pierre Hincapié is now fit as well. You could play Hincapié at centre-back and then you could stick with Calafiori at left-back. The most likely option is Christian Mosquera, just because Mosquera's bang up to speed, has looked very, very good this season. I know he's right-footed predominantly. He wants to play on the right side, but he can play on the left. We know that. He's done it before. So I think the most likely option if Gabriel is injured is that just Mosquera comes in, plays alongside Saliba, and Calafiori stays on the left-hand side. In midfield, I've gone Rice and Zubimendi as a sort of the double pivot type for we've seen in midfield so far this season. I've gone Eza just ahead of him in that number 10 role. Like I said, Saka on the right for me, just because I don't know anything else at the moment. So I'm presuming he's going to be fine. I'm crossing my fingers that he's going to be fine and got him on the right-hand side. If he doesn't make it, then it will be interesting because obviously there's no Madueke at the moment. It doesn't look like Mikel is very keen on playing Ethan Nwaneri on the right-hand side anymore. Even if Dowman's in the squad, I'd be very surprised if Dowman starts on the right wing for this game. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Could he play Martinelli over on the right-hand side? I think that's probably the most likely option for now. So, yeah, I think if Saka's not fit, then it probably will be Martinelli. So I've got Saka on the right. Trossard, I think, will come back in on the left-hand side, despite Martinelli having a really good game in midweek. And then I've got, obviously, Victor Gyökeres up front. So barring the injuries, that's my predicted 11. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Saka, Eza, Trossard, and Gyökeres. If Gabriel and Saka don't make it, I'm probably swapping Mosquera into the centre-back position and probably Martinelli on the right-hand side. Let's go over what some of you guys have been saying now. Max at the top there says, why would we risk Big Gabby with this level of depth? The backline gets it done. This backline gets it done, sorry. MLS, Calafiori, Saliba, and Timber Hincapié on for MLS around the 70-minute mark. Ala says, throw Mosquera into the mix. He's ready and available. M1GS says, I think we should be cautious with Big Gabby. The reason why we got Hincapié, Mosquera is for moments like this. I know it's Crystal Palace who's in great form. That's why this is even being discussed. Dave from Ottawa says, great stuff, Charles. I'm over here for a bit. I was at the Atletico match. What an atmosphere. And we'll bring full force Canadian energy for Palace. Can't wait. If Big Gabby is even slightly injured, we should start Mosquera with complete confidence. He and Saliba will silence Mateta and deliver another clean sheet. Come on, you Gunners. Great stuff. Dave, I hope you have a good time while you're over here, mate. Great game you saw in midweek in the Champions League. Fingers crossed the boys can get it done for you again today. Enjoy your day. The Brotherhood 5322 says, I think Arteta is playing mind games when it comes to Gabriel. You can imagine Palace would be delighted here and he might not be available, but just imagine the feeling when they see him lining up against them in the tunnel. less time to process the incoming threat from set pieces. I think Crystal Palace will have been doing all of their work in the last couple of days, even despite what Mikel said at his press conference. They'll be expecting Gabriel to start. That's how you have to set your team up. You can't go into it thinking, oh, Gabriel's not going to start, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Oliver Glasner's too smart to that, too wise to that. He wouldn't fall for it. So I wouldn't imagine that would work. I think they'd have done all their preparations still with Gabriel in mind. Chris says, I've taken Big Gabby out of my FPL, so he'll likely start and score this weekend. I haven't done that, Chris. I've still got Big Gabby in it, and I've still got Saka in it as well. So if those two miss out, then I'm pretty screwed, I have to say. Dan says, morning, Charles. I predict Eze will have a worldy performance, a bit like Declan Rice's first match against West Ham when he smashed one top bins from 30 yards. Eze to get a couple of assists tomorrow and then a worldy goal at the end for a cherry on top. Declan Rice's first match against West Ham wasn't when he smashed one top bins from 30 yards. He lost 2-0 at home in the league at the Emirates before that. And gave away a penalty. So he didn't score the penalty, but it didn't go very well. I think he actually came on in the cup game earlier on in the season, League Cup game as well, when Arsenal lost 2-1 or 3-1, whatever it was, at the London Stadium as well. So it wasn't technically his first match, the one that he scored top bins, but hopefully Eze's will be better than Declan Rice's one there. And Luke said, hi, Charles. I read somewhere that when Martinelli scores, we haven't lost in the past 49 games, either winning or drawing. Is this correct, and can you verify it? Another reason for keeping Jesus for increasing our chances for results. If they score, I can verify that is correct. And here is the stats to prove it. Most goals scored in for Arsenal without losing a game. Look at that. Gabriel Martinelli at the top, 49 games. They've won 40 of them when he scored. Drawn 9, lost 0. Way ahead of the second highest there, which is Trossard. Kai Havertz, third with 28 games. And then you get down to some of this sort of older players, Lee Dixon, Perry Groves, Ray Parler, Nelka Xhaka's in there, Tim Coleman and Tommy Shanks. So yeah, Gabriel Martinelli, 49 games he has scored in he has scored in 49 games without losing for Arsenal. So when he scores, we don't lose. So fingers crossed he can carry on and get to the big 50, and his run doesn't end at 49. I hope there will be no Wayne Rooney diving, whatever happens in this game, to end that run on 49 for Gabriel Martinelli. Talking about Gabriel Martinelli, actually, he's been speaking ahead of the game and about being top of the table and what sort of pressure that brings. And he says it's easier to get there, but it's more complicated to stay there. So we are going to work on that. This is what we are all working for as a team. We have an amazing team, amazing fans, and we're going to give our best. We play for Arsenal. We like to play alongside good players, and we are very, very happy. We believe we are going to achieve big things this season. We have an amazing group of really good players, and we trust in ourselves. We play for Arsenal. We want to win titles, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, the Champions League. I'm trying my best. I always have, and I will keep doing that. It's a big season. We want the titles. The World Cup is coming, so everyone wants to play and give their best. And he certainly started the season brilliantly, which is absolutely great to see. Fingers crossed, as I said, he can bang in another goal today. He can get to 50 games without losing when scoring for Arsenal. Right, I can't not talk about this before we go today, before we head, everyone, well, not me, but everyone else heads up to the Emirates and prepares for the game today. Remarkable day in the Premier League. Sunderland winning at Stamford Bridge, up to second. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the league table there, up to second in the table. Granit Xhaka proving to be an absolute worldie of a signing for Sunderland. Congratulations to them. That winning goal was strong. I was watching it. I was watching the way Chelsea defended that winning goal, and it was just massive Mustafi, Socrates era vibes for me. The way they defended that and just stood off. That's exactly how Arsenal would have dealt with that situation back in the day of the old Mustafi and Socrates era. And somehow Mustafi would have ended up on the floor at the end of it, complaining to someone else, which was very funny. So, yeah, well done, Sunderland. And then Brentford beating Liverpool 3-2. What a remarkable game that was. Unbelievable drama. VAR, brilliant goals, brilliant assists. Damsgaard's assist for Sharda's goal, unbelievable. Mo Salah's goal was incredible. That touch and finish, wow. For a player who's been out of form, to suddenly do that out of nothing was really, really good. But yeah, another defeat for Liverpool, 4 in a row in the Premier League. What is going on? They're looking absolute shambles, really, at the moment. I do think that wasn't a penalty. I got so much grief on social media. I'm still watching it. I don't know how as a VAR you can give that as a penalty. I've watched it so many times, and I know everyone's saying he planted his foot on the line, but when he kicks him, his foot's in the air, and then he comes back down, it comes backwards a bit and lands on the line. I'm still not sure watching it 100% that you can say that's definitely on the line when the contact is made. I just think it's so hard for VAR. I mean, that is absolutely re-refereeing the game. The ref's given it a free kick outside the area. I just don't see how you can possibly say that is 100% outside the. I'd be fuming if that had been given against Arsenal. Absolutely fuming. To give away a penalty for that, I just thought that was VAR gone mad, but it is what it is. Brentford got the win. Fair play to them. Brilliant. I'm eating humble pie when it comes to Brentford at the moment. I really, really thought they were going to go down this season, but they were doing well, playing really well. They were excellent yesterday. Jordan Henderson, brilliant in midfield for them. And Liverpool's crisis continues. Going to Germany and winning in the Champions League midweek has done nothing for that Premier League form. So they're down to 6th. Look, Arsenal can move 6 points ahead of Liverpool with a win today. Again, it shows how quickly things can change. Just a few weeks ago, Liverpool were marching on to an easy title. Arsenal were about to plummet down after defeat at Newcastle. How things change. Arsenal win at Newcastle, Liverpool lose to Crystal Palace. A few weeks later, it all looks very, very different. So yes, big win, big day for Arsenal today. Got to take advantage of that. Obviously, we all expect Manchester City to win, but Arsenal want to try and get as far ahead of Liverpool as they possibly can, because I think it's fair to say that slump that they're going through at the moment won't last forever. That's it. Enjoy the game, everyone. Like I said, if timings work, I will try and do some sort of live stream during the game today. So come over, we can watch it together. Hopefully enjoy an Arsenal win. But again, I can't guarantee 100% it's going to happen. It all depends on timings and when my wife gets home and all that sort of stuff. Take it easy. Have a good day. Come on the Arsenal. Bye-bye.